Have you ever walked into a thrift store and spotted something that makes you think, why would somebody buy that? Well, it's me. I would buy that. And I'm going to show you why you should buy this. And now this dresser might look like it's been forgotten, but let me tell you, this has some serious potential hiding underneath all of these dated designs. This piece was sitting in the corner, unloved, overlooked, but I snagged it for a steal, and now it's about to get a total glow up. By the time I'm done with this, it's gonna go from forgotten to fabulous, ready to sell for around 800 bucks. So let me show you how a little bit of creativity and a lot of elbow grease can turn a dusty bargain into a top seller. Let's make lemons into lemonade. The hardware on this is way too dated. It's gotta come off, like a lot of the details on this piece. They've gotta come off. So let's start here. I'm going to be using some simple green, my drill attachment with all the scrubbers on it, and some really hot soapy water to get off all the dirt and grime that is all over this dresser. It's pretty bad, so my little drill attachment here is really going to help get into all of these details and get the grime off of here. It's pretty yucky. First challenge of the day with this one, I want to get off these dated panels right here. I really like this trim around the edges, but the center part, that's gotta go. I was hoping that I could just pry these off with some of my upholstery tools, but that is not working. It appears that this is an actual full piece of plastic that is behind these trim pieces. So I'm gonna try to save these trim pieces, but get this out of here. Let's see if I can do this without ruining the dresser. that I've got all of the panels off of these doors, let's move on to the next thing. I am going to apply some paint stripper and take all of the finish off of the top of this and get this down to bare wood. I think it's gonna go a lot better with the design that I have in mind for this dresser. This dresser has a really thick piece of veneer on the top of it. You can see it right there. So I don't really have to worry about burning through it or anything like that. So it's gonna be perfect for using some stripper to get that old dated finish off of the top. It's working already. I put some saran wrap on the top of this because in Texas, my weather is a little drier, so I just make sure that this doesn't dry up. While that chemical stripper is doing its job on the top of the dresser, I've got my Surf Prep sander with a 180 grit sanding pad on here. I'm gonna start to scuff sand all of these drawers to get them ready for paint. Something I try to add into my everyday routine is drinking a lot of water. I mean, don't we all? I just want to make sure that that water is clean. And as you know, our bodies are made up of over 60% water. So especially during this winter cold and flu season, clean water can be our first line of defense for our health. So I checked the water quality in my area on WaterDrop's website, and wow, you guys, I was shocked. That's why I'm so happy to be using the WaterDrop G3 P800 filter in my home. You guys, my dad got one of these and I loved it so much. I was so excited when WaterDrop asked if we could partner together for this video. I absolutely jumped at the chance because I have been wanting to try this out. It gives me the peace of mind knowing that every drop of water I use is filtered and pure. And it does it so quickly. This thing can filter a whole cup of water in just 6 seconds. It reduces over 1,000 harmful substances like PFAS, fluoride, heavy metals, nitrates through a 9-stage filtration process. With the holidays just around the corner, I've been using my WaterDrop filter every day, whether it's for making tea, coffee, or even preparing soups for my family. The water is crystal clear like you guys can see, and the taste of this, it is so much better. Plus, knowing that it's filtered means that I'm offering my family and my guests the very best during this holiday season. Plus, the tankless design saves 70% under sink space, which means it does not need to go on my countertop. It's one simple change that makes a real big difference for us. Be sure to check out my link below. WaterDrop is having an excellent deal for Black Friday, up to $700 off the WaterDrop G3 P800, so be sure to check that out. The chemical stripper has been on here for about an hour, hour and a half, somewhere in there. It looks like it's done its job, so let's get this off. I scraped off all the remaining chemical stripper, and now I'm gonna go in with my Surf Prep orbital sander. I'm starting with a 120 grit sanding pad here and take off the rest of the finish that's left on the top. Hopefully I've got a really beautiful piece of wood underneath this that we can stain. I was able to salvage a lot of the trim work that I got off of the front of the doors, but some of it didn't survive with my chisel. So I do have a piece of trim from Lowe's that I picked up. I'm just gonna mark this and cut this to size and fill in the ones that I broke. I did put a few little pinholes in here with some nails just to make sure these were extra secure. So I'm going to use some glazing spot putty by Bondo just to fill in these holes a little bit so they don't show up later in my paint job. Now this dresser will most definitely bleed through my paint. There's a lot of red tannins on this guy. So I've put my favorite Sherwin-Williams primer in the purple can into my little paint roller tray here. I can put it in my HVLP sprayer, but it's hard to clean out. So this time I'm just gonna roll it on with the roller, and I'll probably give everything 2 good coats of primer with a scuff sand in between, just to make sure we don't have any bleed through on this project. I took a risk on color with this one, and I went with Emerald, Sherwin-Williams Emerald Urethane Trim Collection paint. This is great for furniture. It usually doesn't require a primer if you're doing a dark coat, and then it also has a built-in satin top coat, so it saves you a step. So I really like this one. But I went with a new color to me, and this color is called Broycroft Bronze Green. I wanted something that was a little more stately, something that's like dark academia for this project. They mixed it up for me, and I'm not totally sure by the color that's on the top, but this is what I really wanted. It's a little out of my comfort zone, but we're gonna try it today. I'm gonna load it up into my Wagner HVLP sprayer, and we'll put probably 2 good coats of this on for full coverage. The painting is done on this project, and now it is time to deal with the top. Now the top on this is a little uneven as far as coloring goes, so I am taking some Minwax pre-stain. This is pre-stain. This can is well loved, so you can't tell what it says, but I'll be sure to link everything down below. And I'm going to apply some pre-stain on the top of this, and that just ensures that when I put stain on this, it'll help it absorb a little more evenly. I've let the pre-stain dry for 2 hours, and now I'm going to do one of my favorite tricks on the top of this with stain. And actually, one of my favorite subscribers taught me this trick. So I'm going to take some dark Minwax stain. This is a dark walnut, and I'm going to cut it half and half with mineral spirits. And it gives this really like tobacco feeling on the top of it, which is perfect for this green color that I've chosen from Sherwin-Williams. So let's get this mixed up. I found these 9-inch drawer handles on Amazon. I knew they would add just the right drama that I was going for this project. And I also, when I put the drawers back on, I did end up painting the back of the doors. I was thinking of going for a two-toned look when you opened up the inside, but when I got the drawers on, I really didn't like it, so I ended up painting those. All right, we are on the home stretch. There is just a few more things to do, but one of the most important things that I don't want to skip is the top of this needs a polyurethane protection on it. Since this is an oil-based stain that I used on the top, I am using an oil-based poly from Minwax. It's a satin finish on the top of this, and I've got an oil-based Minwax brush. I don't mix this one up with my water-based poly brushes, so this one just stays as an oil-based brush over on the shelf by itself. And then the paint that I chose already has a top coat built in, so I don't need to top coat that, but I will apply 2 to 3 good coats of poly on this because it's going to be used as a dresser or a media cabinet, and I want to make sure that this has plenty of protection. Well, there you have it, you guys. I think this flip is probably my most dramatic before and after makeover of this year. You'll have to let me know your thoughts below. This was definitely not a beginner-friendly flip, I'll be honest. It ended up being so much harder than I thought it was going to be, and one of the main reasons is these panels right here. They were so hard to take off of this frame, and I ended up breaking a lot more of the trim than I thought that I was going to. I thought these would just easily pop off. They did not. They ended up being one whole piece instead of these being separate pieces on their own, which is what I normally see. But that's all right. I learned a new skill, and I think that these handles, these really long handles, are going to be a really great seller for me in my market. I'm going to mark this one at about $900 to start off, and we'll see where we end up with the final sale. As always, be sure to subscribe and follow along. I put what I sell my pieces for over in the community page when they sell. That is a completely free option. All you have to do is subscribe to this page, and then as you're scrolling and looking for videos, my community page will usually pop up and you'll see updates from me. And in those updates, I put the pieces that I sell and what I sell them for, just so you guys know where these end up. Because most of the time when you're watching these flips, I haven't listed them for sale on Facebook Marketplace just yet. So it's a fun way for me to keep you guys involved and engaged through the selling process of these flips that you watch me create. Thank you guys so much for being here. Be sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss a flip, and I'll see you next time on Lemons to Lemonade Furniture.